We're finally into the new year, and I thought, what would be better than to do a 2025 reading wrap up of my favorite books? Now, to be honest, majority of these books are fantasy or romance. I would say about 90% of them. So, if you're into that, just let's talk about some books, why don't we? A lot of these are also series. They're either, a lot of them are completed series, or I have maybe like one or two ongoing series, but I think I'm just going to go random order, whatever I read in 2025. So let's go. So first up, I have talked about these before, and it is, of course, Bride and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. We all know, I said this on my TikTok, we all know how Ali Hazelwood knows how to write a romance, and her attempt at fantasy was just divine, chef's kiss. Loved it. So the first one, Bride, it is in the multiverse where vampires, werewolves, and humans all coexist, and to keep the peace within this multiverse between these species, they give each other a collateral. So they give them a person, and if something happens, they usually give them a highly important person, and if something happens within, and so it's kind of a guarantee that war won't break out, otherwise we're going to kill your collateral, which is a really important person to you guys. So you have Misery, which is the vampire given to the collateral, and Misery is a collateral, and she is given to the werewolves. She was a collateral when she was younger, but when she finally ended her time being the collateral, but when she was older, they needed another collateral, and so she put her hand up because she had an ulterior motive where her best friend just disappeared, and she's trying to find her best friend, and she thinks the werewolves might give her some answers, so she puts her hand up to be the collateral again. And in this way, she's a collateral by being a werewolf's bride, as per the title. And so you get the romance, and then you get the mystery of the best friend, and you're kind of going along trying to figure out where this best friend could be, and then you get some spice in there, and Ali Hazelwood just does such a good quick read that it's so beginner friendly, and I highly recommend, of course. And then we read the second one, Mate. You can't know a lot about Mate without reading Bride, but basically you're following the werewolves this whole book, and it's a little bit of a slow burn, not that much, but when they get into it, you're like, ooh, you're like, Cohen is the alpha of the pack, and he just wants to do everything for the FMC, and then he literally just wants to be with her forever, basically. And you get this. It's so good. Anyways, next we have Elsie Silver's Wild Eyes. This is the second in the Rose Hill series. I haven't read any others in the Rose Hill series. This was just in a community library where I just picked it up, and it is a single dad trope. I really loved this one because I really love the female lead character. She is a star trying to run away from an abusive father in an abusive family, and she's trying to find herself again and find what she really loves to do. And then she runs into Weston Belmont, and he is from Rose Hill, and he has 2 kids. He's a single dad, and Skylar, the FMC, is trying to find herself again, and then it is forced proximity because she ends up staying on his property, in a house on his property, on his farm, and I just found this so giddy and fast-paced, and it was a really good palate cleanser. And I don't know whether it was the single dad, but it just like, I still remember what happens in this book. And West is trying to make sure his kids have a stable environment, so he doesn't want to get too involved with this guy, but they can't help it. They're so attracted to each other, and you can see how bad he wants to help her. And it's just this really beautiful love story of people discovering how to work in a relationship, and I really loved it. Next, we have the fantasy series One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig. It is a duology. It has One Dark Window and Two Twisted Crowns. I think a lot of people have read this in 2025. If you haven't, you need to. It is, as everyone has said, it is the most unique magic system that I've ever read. I talked about this in one of my other videos that I filmed where I was reading One Dark Window. And okay, so One Dark Window is actually really hard to explain without taking like 20 minutes to explain the plot. So it's basically a dark gothic fantasy novel with a side of romance. I think the balance of romance was perfect. It wasn't romantasy, it was fantasy with a side plot of romance, and the magic system was so unique. They basically have cards where when they tap the cards, the magic that card possesses, they possess that magic if they tap that card. And so that's unique in itself. But then there's this fog that when people go into in the woods, they disappear and they've gone forever. Basically, you go crazy in that fog. And the mission of this whole thing is they want to destroy the fog. And to do that, they need to get all the cards together. They need to get every single card that has a unique power together and do something with it. I forgot what they need to do. But anyways, it's so good. I highly recommend this series if you're into dark gothic fantasies. It is so good. Rachel Gillig's writing, it's so good. I just read The Night and the Moth. So good. She literally puts crack in her books. I don't know what it is, but this is definitely one of my favorite series from 2025. Next, we have Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by V.E. Schwab. This is a dark vampire, lesbian, toxic book. It basically jumps from timeline to timeline, and you follow this one girl. Her name is Maria, and you basically go through the whole book you jump from timeline to timeline, and you jump from girl to girl, but then they all come together at the end, and it's so interesting to read about and to grasp the way that V.E. Schwab can just make it such an interesting and intricate sort of timeline of everyone coming together and who's been affected by who and how it comes all about. I was a little bit disappointed by the ending, to be honest. I don't know if it was because I was just reading it and wasn't really absorbing it, but I did like everything else about this book, and you could really wrap yourself up into this world. Like, you feel like you could be in that world and vampires are just existing around you, and it's not very out of this world, you can't imagine. So it's very easy world building because there basically is none, but like this book like is about finding yourself and balance and consequences and how that all plays out and losing yourself and stuff like that. And I found the fantasy aspect beautiful, and V.E. Schwab's writing again is just amazing. Next we have The Crimson Moth and The Rebel Witch. I loved this series. So they had The Crimson Moth on Kindle Unlimited, but not The Rebel Witch. So I have The Rebel Witch hard copy, but not The Crimson Moth. It is about witches and witch hunters. It is enemies to lovers, forbidden magic, love triangle. It just had... I honestly think I might reread it, because also the ending of Crimson Moth had just got me so bad. And this was definitely one of my favorite series of the year. Like the forbidden love between witch and witch hunter, and they're trying to deceive one another, and they know that, but they also can't resist each other, and it's the push and pull and the magic and the forbidden love. It's just a lot, and I highly recommend this series. It is so good. The fantasy system is so good. The love, so good. And it's basically a cat and mouse game all through the ending, and then through Rebel Witch, it's a cat and mouse game. Whose side is who on? They're trying to figure out if they're good, bad, evil, not, and you're just like going on a roller coaster with them. It is so good. I highly recommend. I think this is like almost anyone who has read this has absolutely loved this. Play Along by Liz Tomford. This is part of the Windy City series, and it was just magnificent. Honestly, I hadn't read any of the Windy City series, but I picked this one straight away because of how much it was being talked about. And then I've started the Windy City series again from the beginning. This one is still top tier, 100%. So you follow Kennedy and Isaiah. Isaiah is part of the Windy City Warriors baseball team, and Kennedy works with them as a physical therapist, I believe, on the team. And Isaiah has always loved Kennedy, has had a thing for her over the years. As you go through the books, Isaiah has had a crush on Kennedy the whole time. And so when you get the book, even though I read it first, I could imagine when you get to this book, you're like, finally. Anyways, Kennedy was engaged, and her engagement broke off, and she finds out a couple months later her ex is newly engaged to her sister. Jaw drops. Anyways, if that ever happened to one of my friends, I think I would, oh my god, I don't even know. That's way too much for that to happen. Anyways, to get back at her sister and her ex, she's like, F you guys, I'm gonna get married first. So, drunken night in Las Vegas, Isaiah and Kennedy get married. And I really loved, it does sound really lighthearted in the close proximity and everything, but the way it deals with family drama, I think, was really tasteful, and Liz did it really well. Isaiah being there for her, and also Isaiah having problems of his own. I think it was done really lightheartedly, but also hit the points that it needed to hit, so that it wasn't just romance. It's not just them getting along and they liked each other because they're two good looking people. They liked each other because they really got along and they really understood each other. And she really did this really well, and I highly recommend this series. I've just got rewinded back to read, and I'm really excited for that one. Next, we have Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood. This is a age gap romance set in Italy for a wedding, so I highly recommend this for a summer read. Of course, Problematic Summer Romance. So this is basically just all about romance and all about Connor just trying to resist Maya, and it's the slow burn, but also it's the slow burn of Connor trying to resist Maya and trying to be like the good guy, because obviously he's older, he wants to set an example, but Maya's like, shut up, I know you have feelings for me, I know you're scared, you just need to get over yourself. And yes, we have an age gap, but I still know what I want, even though I'm younger than you and you think I'm 12 and you can influence me that easy. I think some feelings of my own are coming out here. But anyways, but I just think this was the perfect setting. It's the push and pull of them wanting to do something and kind of being like, no. Maya was pretty insistent. Maya is a little bit insistent, which you're just like, girl, come on, like, respect yourself a little bit more. But in the end, you're like, okay, I understand. So I really like this one. And then still going with the Ali Hazelwood theme, we have Deep End. This one is about two student athletes and they're both swimmers. You're following Scarlett, who is the FMC, and her friend Pen recently broke up with this boy Lucas, but they were never really that into each other, I don't think. Honestly, I read this book a little bit ago and I don't really remember much, so I'm just trying to go off what I remember. And then Pen suggests that Scarlett and Lucas should just get down and dirty because Scarlett has those fantasies, Lucas has those fantasies. So it is a very heavily spicy driven book, and it was just so much fun, and their banter and Ali Hazelwood's writing with it. I need to reread these books so bad. I'm just reminding myself why I love these books. They start to get feelings for each other after spending so much time together and after this arrangement, and their communication in this arrangement, especially is Lucas being so insistent for communication, really boded well for me, and I just loved how that came about. And it wasn't so extra and over the top of we need to explore and be really like dirty about these kinks or whatever. It was just really tastefully it was really tastefully and lighthearted kind of spice, and it wasn't like just because we want to explore these doesn't mean they're so sinister and so raunchy or whatever, you know what I mean? Anyways, next up we have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. This book, I just thought this book was absolutely beautiful, and it's definitely one of those books where you kind of need to sit and take it in and read it in bit by bit, and just like sit with the book and sit down with it and truly understand and absorb it. But I thought it was just so beautiful in the way it was written. It is about Addie LaRue and how she kind of wants to be someone else. She doesn't like the life she's living in. She doesn't like that she needs to be married off. It's set initially in 1714 in France, and her family is trying to marry her off, but she is a free spirit. She wants to be wild, and one night she accidentally makes a deal with the devil, and she asks him to make her free and to do what she wants and to do what she pleases, but because he is the devil, he takes what he wants, and what she basically gives him is her soul. When I am finished doing what I need, I will give you my soul. And so he takes it, but he takes it, everything is fine print, so he takes it in the way, okay, I'm going to make you free and make you live forever, but every single person who you meet, when they turn around and never see you again, they will forget everything about you. So Addie can never live anywhere, she can never have a job, she can never have friends, because everyone will forget her as soon as they turn around, the door closes, they go around the corner, they will forget her. So it is the sad, it also plays with the idea of kind of being in love with that familiarity. The devil visits her every few years, and then he goes without visiting her for a lot longer, but she waits for his visits because he's the only one that remembers her. And it kind of tussles with that idea of being in love with the idea of someone remembering you and someone being there for you even though you're in a shit circumstance, but that person will always be there and you can't not help but be in love with that. And then one day she meets this boy and he says, "I remember you." And she was like, "No, you don't. No, you don't. No, you don't remember me." And so you go on about exploring them and their relationship. And then I just loved how at the end of the book it wasn't, "Oh, I'm in love with you." It genuinely explores the idea of being in love with someone versus being in love with consistency and familiarity and like a homey feeling more than actually being in love with someone. So this book makes you really think about how love works and just life and stuff like that, and I really loved it. And V. Schwab just really makes you think about a lot, and I really need to read more books of hers. It did get a little bit slow in the middle, but I think that's how that pacing works, and it just shows how life goes on no matter how fast or paced it's going or whatever. That's what this book is trying to convey, and I just loved it so much. And then the next two books are Lights Out and Caught Up by Nevessa Allen. These are spicy books, dark romance books. They explore kinks and you just have a great, fabulous time. I was thinking, what a juxtaposition to what I was just talking about. But you just have a great time with these characters. And Lights Out follow this nurse who's very stressed, and so she really likes this male's social media page where he dresses up in a mask and he's like videoing himself to like sexy music and stuff, and she's just wanting to escape her life, so she finds it really attractive. And then she catches his attention, and because it is very like kink based, he breaks into her house, he leaves her stuff, he films in her house, and she's like, who the hell is doing this? Who the hell, like, and she's like, what the hell, this man is crazy, but she kind of likes it. And then this weird third act comes up. It's kind of strange, but it goes into the second book, which is a mob romance. It is a second chance romance, and I really liked this one. It still has a very miscommunication kind of plot, but I don't know, it's dark romance and lighthearted that you don't really mind, so it's kind of like, oh, okay, whatever. But I really like this one. Lauren is part of the adult film industry, and Nico is part of the mob family, and Lauren loves what she does, and I love how tastefully and how well that was talked about. And Nico wants to get out, doesn't want to be in the mob anymore, doesn't want to be associated with his dad anymore, and so Nico is just trying to basically be there for her, but he's also kind of stubborn and what you expect a mob guy to be like. But then they're exploring all these kinks together, and you just want them to kind of work out, because you're like, you guys are so attracted to each other, and you know they would want to do anything for each other, that you're just like rooting for them. And I really love these, and I think they're great palette cleansers and they go so fast. Highly recommend these ones. And then my special mentions for 2025 would be Zodiac Academy. Zodiac Academy is a fantasy series, and it's set within a school, a university, and I just loved the fantasy system. You deal with the elements. So within this realm they have elemental magic. So they have like water, fire, earth, air, and you follow these mean boys who are in charge of everything, who are the sons of the council and who are basically the popular guys. And then you have these long lost twin princesses coming in, and they're like, wait, we don't want to take your throne, we don't even know where we are, why we're here. And you just get the battle between the popular boys and the new long lost princesses. And I just love the school element, and they're so against each other, but then they have this obvious enemy, like obvious enemy, common enemy, that everyone's like, what is happening? And then they need to work together. But book after book, it kept getting worse and worse, and so I just had to stop reading it. But I loved it, but I had to stop reading it. I think I got to book like 6 or something. It kept getting worse and worse, and I was just like, oh my god, I can't do this anymore. But I do love that series. And then next special mention is my last book of 2025 actually, which is A God of Wrath and Lies by K.M. Moronova. She wrote Leave Me Behind, which I also really loved, but that one was really, really dark. But A God of Wrath and Lies is part of a series. It's the first one in the Pine Hollow series. I'm currently reading the second one. So basically, A God of Wrath and Lies follows Lottie. She's the FMC, and it very much focuses on her trauma and loss of her auntie and dog at the start of the book, and then she gets lured in. And then all of a sudden she gets lured into the world of the gods by this gorgeous man that she followed into the woods. And then you're trying to figure out where she is and why she's there with her. And you have slow burn romances, and there's beautiful men with wings and horns, and you're like, what is going on? And the ending, I literally draw on the floor. I literally wanted to cry for her. So heartbroken, was not expecting that. And I just wasn't expecting it from that, because I just picked it up because I wanted a quick read. And I highly recommend it. I couldn't put it down. So I highly recommend that one. And I think that was a great way to end 2025 with my book era. So I think those are all the books I wanted to talk about, and I hope I articulated it somewhat well. I don't feel like I did. I am not the best at remembering plots of books and what happens. I just kind of remember the feeling I got when I was reading it. I hope you all enjoyed this video and you got some inspiration maybe to what to read next. I very much read a lot of popular books, but I'm not disappointed at all, and they're popular for a reason, so I don't see why I should be. And I'm really excited for 2026 reading year and to see where I can get up to. I read 41 books in 2025, and I am hoping to aim around 50 books for this year, and I really hope I can get there. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you stick around for the next one. Bye.